What is going on, everybody? It's Jet Central back with some breaking NFL news. So I'm up early. I'm watching College Game Day. Getting a little preview of all the college games starting. And I looked down at my phone and I noticed that Sam Bradford has just been traded to the Minnesota Vikings for a conditional first-round pick in the 2017 draft. Are you kidding me? This news is huge. This news is huge. A first-round pick for Sam Bradford? Well, a conditional first-round pick. And that's not even it. The Philadelphia Eagles also get a draft selection in the 2018 draft as well. So, this is huge news. And I don't even know why they're not even talking about it on television. They're not even talking about it on television. I don't know what their deal is, but I'm getting this video out there because this is some breaking news. Teddy Bridgewater went down last week. Torn ACL, dislocated knee. A lot of people were saying that the Viking season was over. I could see that argument. I could see why, people were saying that. It's understandable. They had Shaun Hill as their backup, now their starter. He's a 13-year vet, and I've always liked Shaun Hill. I always thought he's good enough to get the job done. And, with an awesome defense like the Vikings have, a good coach and two good coaches, Norv Turner and Mike Zimmer, and one of the best backs in the NFL, and Adrian Peterson. Plus, you also have some other weapons too. Stephon Diggs, I called he was going to be a great NFL player, which the Jets took him. They also have rookie Laquan Treadwell, supposedly a beast. They also got a really good tight end too, in Rudolph. So this team is loaded. Let's just call a spade a spade. The Vikings are a playoff team. They, in my book, beat the Seattle Seahawks last season. They just blew it right at the end. From that, the whole field goal dilemma. You guys already know that whole story. So the consensus was going into the season that they are a NFC champion. They could be an NFC champion this season. It's not that hard of a concept to grasp, if you're a Vikings fan or if you're just a fan of football, that the Vikings potentially can be very, 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 very good. But then Bridgewater goes down and, you start hearing trade rumors. Mark Sanchez from the Broncos, Geno Smith from the Jets, possibly. Nicholas Foles, St. Nicholas from the Kansas City Chiefs. He was a potential trade target too for the Vikings. But then I go down, I look at my phone, and I notice that the Vikings trade for Sam Bradford. And this news is just insanity. I'm still blown away by this trade. Not only because Sam Bradford's with a new team, not only that, but the Vikings just gave up a first-round pick for Sam Bradford. That's insane. It is conditional, yes. But at the end of the day, first-round pick, that's pretty valuable. First-round pick for Sam Bradford. No one saw that coming. Conditional first-round pick again, but no one saw that coming. So overall, I'm blown away by this trade. I really am. I did not think that the Vikings... If I was, in charge of the Vikings, I would have much rather given up a 7th-round pick to the Jets for Geno, or a 6th-round pick for Mark Sanchez, or, maybe even like a 3rd or a 2nd-round pick for Nicholas Foles from Kansas City, if they wanted to deal him. But a first-round pick for Sam Bradford, man, I don't know how I feel about that on the Vikings side, because... Also, another thing, too, I want to point out real quick. Bridgewater got hurt pretty late in the whole preseason. You know what I mean? So, it makes you think, who's going to be the starter? Because Sam Bradford has a week to learn the playbook and become the Vikings starter. That's a short amount of time for Sam Bradford to do that task. Not only learn the playbook, but get familiar with the team. Get chemistry. He hasn't even had a snap with Laquan Treadwell. He hasn't even had a snap with, Stephon Diggs, or handing it to AP, or the terminology, or the plays. Anything. He hasn't had anything with the Vikings. So it makes you think. In my opinion, I'd start Shaun Hill for at least the first 2 games, or maybe even the first 3, depending on how good the Vikings are. Because if Shaun Hill comes in, the Vikings go 3-0. And he doesn't turn the football over, and he just gets the job done. He just manages the game. He doesn't lose the game for you. I'm pretty much going to be, obviously be going with Shaun Hill. I'm not going to pull Sean Hill out if they're 3-0 and Sam Bradford's ready to come in. But it makes you think, because the Vikings just gave up a first-round pick. They're not gonna give up a conditional first-round pick for a backup all season. Because if they wanted a backup, they could have gotten a Geno, a Foles, I also even heard Case Keenum too. His name bounced around a little bit too, in regards to the whole trade talks. Also, Brian Hoyer from the Chicago Bears as well. So, Josh McCown is another one. I mean, McCown. I always liked Josh McCown. I think Josh McCown is a beast. He's just old. That's McCown's problem. He's just fine wine. He's just aging late, or getting better with age. But that's the thing. Do you really want to bring in a quarterback that only has maybe 1 year, maybe 2 years left? I don't know. So the Vikings weren't obviously thinking that. They decided to give up a conditional first rounder and a 2018 draft selection for Sam Bradford. Blown away by the trade. Was not expecting that whatsoever. It's going to be very interesting to see on how the Vikings played the situation out. Who's going to start, who do they eventually want to start, and stuff along those lines. And then real quickly on the Eagles side of the football, nice trade. I will say this. Eagles fans, you might get pissed off at me, and that's fine. But the Eagles probably just tossed their season away, by Chase Daniel, because Chase Daniel is not, in my book, a starting NFL quarterback. And still Carson Wentz needs some time to learn the plays and get adjusted and even heal because he got hurt. So I doubt Philadelphia is going to make the playoffs regardless, with Sam Bradford or not. But now it's pretty obvious that they're not going to make the playoffs. So sorry, Eagles fans. But hey, look on the bright side. You got your franchise quarterback of the future that you traded up for last season. And you got a first-round pick back for Sam Bradford, who wanted out. That's crazy good for the Philadelphia Eagles team, fans, franchise, players. That's crazy. I would do that trade in a heartbeat. 2 draft picks, one being a conditional first-round pick. See you, Sam Bradford. If I'm the Eagles, I would have traded him too. So, good trade by the Eagles. I don't know how I feel about it for the Vikings, just because I feel like you could get quality quarterbacks, quality backup quarterbacks, for a lot cheap of a price. Like I mentioned, the Hoyers, the McCowns, the Genos, those players along those lines. So, I love it for the Eagles. I don't know how I feel about it for the Vikings. But it is what it is. The trade's done. Sam Bradford to the Vikings for a conditional 2017 first-round pick. Let me know down in the comment section what you guys think of the trade. Eagles fans, I want to hear from you guys. Vikings fans, I want to hear from you guys. Really anxious. This is huge news. And, enjoy the rest of your guys' day.